Welcome to Tackle Fanatics TV, and in this episode of TFTV you get a chance to go winter carping with Jake Lund and Iain Macmillan.
Okay, as normal, nothing like being thrown into the deep end. We're here in the middle of Cambridgeshire, or the Fens. I haven't got a clue where I am. All I know is I'm sort of past Cambridge, near Huntingdon way, that way. It's a private water. I'm told it's very good for a bite as we're coming into winter now. So there's a bit of sort of rubbish and a bit of chod still on the bottom. So I'm just going to go out with two little whites on running chods on lead core. I've lost a toss. There was 5 fish out the swim next door. Obviously I'm rubbish at draws and tosses, so Jake's won that. He's got in the flyer. If he doesn't catch, he's going to royally get loads of stick, which I won't let him forget about for the duration of the session. So I'm quite excited. There's quite a lot of 20s in here, so I think if we get a bite, it could be a good fish, you know. So we're just going to get them out. It's very, very deep. I've just had a little cast with my first rod that I've got out, and I actually made a brew by the time my little 1 ounce lead had hit the bottom, so much to the amusement of Matt and Jake. So we're going to get this one out, and hopefully we're going to catch a couple. I am quite excited. I like all this, you know, new water. I haven't fished with Jake before, and hopefully we can get a couple for the camera. So I'll flick this out. Obviously, if I got any more than 2 rod lengths, I'm in 60 foot, so it's only a little cast with a little lead. So hopefully they'll have something to report a bit later. Right, we've come up to the flyer with Mr. Lund. First time I've met you, Jake.
Pleasure.
Like I said before, I lost the toss through a rigged coin. So yeah, we just come up for a brew. We've got the rods out now, and it's a bit windy, but it's warmed up ever so slightly. So what are your thoughts, Jake?
Well,
what you got out there?
There's a low pressure coming in this afternoon, this evening. Bit of cloud coming over. So it's only going to get better. It's so deep out here. I think you need that pressure to drop to get them down, really.
Yeah. You've seen one though, haven't you? Right between your rods, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen one show the same distance I'm fishing.
60 foot.
Yeah. Well, first cast went a bit far. It was ridiculously deep. So
yeah.
Come back a bit shorter, about 15 foot. So yeah, I think it's about right.
Yeah. What you using rigs wise and bait wise?
I'm using the Source. I've got a bottom bait on one. It's quite a clean bottom, but on the other, got one of the new Source fluoro pop-ups.
Oh, that white one, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll produce the goods. I think it's good for a quick bite.
But you've been here before, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Yeah, I've done 2 sessions on here in the winter last year.
And caught both times, haven't you?
No, I lost one the first time, caught one the second time. It was a bit slow,
but I think because of the depth, I think it fishes quite a way through, doesn't it? It takes a lot longer for it to cool down. And
I mean, that fish I had last winter was in 30 foot of water.
Really?
It's crazy. So they're more comfortable there when it's cold, I would have thought.
Were they showing last winter? Because it was later in the year you came, was it January you came?
January time. It looked pretty bleak, to be honest with you.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did you see any fish?
I think I see one show, but I couldn't be sure it was a carp, to be honest. So,
but Mikey, he had 3, didn't he? Did he have 3 20-pounders?
Really well. Yeah, Mike was fishing on the red ammo.
Yeah.
And he had 3 20-pounders.
See, Matt's he's told us to go easy on the bait. I'm really tempted to put quite a bit in on the basis that
I don't think Lake sees a lot of bait.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine they're a little bit hungry. I'm going to fish just a pounce over each rod today, but tonight I'm probably going to put a kilo out, I reckon.
I'm itching to fill it in. It's quite barren, isn't it? At the bottom you get a really good drop, don't you? But
it's the ideal place for scattering a big bed of board.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do it just yet. I'd like to get a bite before dark if possible. But you know,
I think it's a case of waiting for that pressure to drop.
To push them down.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I see one bit further to my left, probably the similar distance out to where you saw yours, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's I bought no particle. I wish I had it done now.
Yeah.
On the basis that it might pull him. Yeah, may pull him down a bit. But Matt's confident we will get a bite.
Well,
obviously there's more pressure on you.
Yeah.
Just for the record, this swim did do 5 fish last week, 4 of which were 20-pounders up to 28.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I aren't going to sort of reiterate that fact at every opportunity, you know, especially if he doesn't catch anything, and I do, out of the duffer, and obviously Jake's in the flyer. So, but no, we were...
panicking here.
You're panicking, I'm actually installing the panic into you. But yeah, there's somebody else on, he's just up in the corner, and he had one more or less straight away off the back of the wind, which is something to bear in mind. I think the wind's picking up now, and it's sort of blowing down the other end, and the water's still quite murky. Matt tells us that it goes crystal clear here in the winter, so obviously there's still fish feeding, and the water clarity isn't great, so there's still something murking around. So well, we'll do some carp stuff now, eh? It all falls under the banner of carp stuff, so we'll do some carp stuff, which basically means put the kettle on, and then we'll check back in later when Jake's still blanking and I've had a 30-pounder. So
I'm just going to keep quiet. Time will tell.
Yeah, me with all the lip, giving it all the big un, and then Jake's probably going to catch a 30-pounder, which would be nice. So we'll talk to you a bit later. Just put this one straight on a fish's head.
10 minutes ago?
Yeah, 10 minutes. And the alarms were on the heads, and I heard a beep, and then I see the tip bent round because my receiver's up with Jake. So I'm into one. Quite nervous because there's a lot of good fish in here. I think there's a couple of little posts here, and I was just skimming that with this cast. It was slightly down to the left, so it was definitely caught on something, but we've got one on. The old Lund master's going in, and his wellies, look. And there's nothing like, oh dear, losing the toss to the flyer and then hooking one. Oh, he's not a bad one. Yay! 1-0 to Tong.
Nice one.
Out the unfancied area.
Yes, 20. Definitely, yeah.
Get in.
Happy days, eh?
No, it doesn't splash me. Oh, that's an easy mid-20. Oh, Mr. Rand. We'll turn it round for you, and Jake can read it out. Look at that, got a bit of a shake on.
You're 26.8.
Oh, we'll have some of that in the middle of November. He's absolutely in amazing condition. After getting me line off the snag, he did scrap quite well. It's quite deep, and I just think there's a few in that little zone. But to get something that size straight away is pressure off me, and obviously now I won't be ribbing Jake even more in the flyer. You know, won the toss. I fluked one out the dead zone. So it's all on you now, Jake.
I'll keep quiet.
You can. Absolutely lovely carp, that one. Right, I'll risk getting a wet foot. and it's very close. So we'll just get him back, because there's half a dozen 30-pounders in here. So one of those next would be nice. Absolutely made up with that.
That's a penny.
Right, God knows what I'll catch tonight. I want to give him 5 kilos of tiger nut.
About 8 hours into the session now, and Ian's off the mark, so he's looking quite happy. And also a few fish showing down his end, his moose swim. So yeah, I'll let him see all about it. I think he's keen to.
No, I'm just been blinded by the lights obviously from the polo club behind, but yeah, we are hearing quite a few where I've moved, but I don't put any bait out. Because every time I put the catty up, one shows, and I kind of don't want to spook them, and that's the area I had the fish from, isn't it? So, but we do think that they're probably sitting at some depth above where my rig is, or rigs are, should I say.
I think you should put some bait out. Spook them my way.
Jake's of the opinion that I should fill it in,
loads of bait,
and then spook them, and then they come up here. We think Matt's just hooked a sturgeon on a size 16 hook and a caster, so it wouldn't have counted anyway. We just hope it was a carp, because then I would have caught one, Matt would have caught one on a technique that doesn't technically count, and Jake would still be blanking. Plus he's still obviously in the flyer, so we obviously, as you can tell, we aren't ribbing him about anything.
They're obviously quite happy they can with me. Obviously feeling the pressure. I know tonight I'm going to have the big girls out.
But they are moving a bit this way, aren't they? They're moving up a bit.
There's a lot of fish on your end, but they have been creeping up, eh?
But they're so localised, aren't they? There's nothing to the left of where I've moved, is there? They're all in that one area, which is where we saw. And to be fair, we were sitting by your brolly, weren't we?
Yeah.
And then I went back to
Oh. It's encouraging. Oh, I better check that out.
Jake's just had a liner. It's never a carp. Probably the wind or some weeds blowing on it. But I'll be amazed if he doesn't catch. Oh, there was one. And that was right in front of where we're sitting, which is, I think they're definitely moving up. But he will catch one, and I hope he does. Just not as big as 26.5, which is obviously what I caught. But what's happening, Jake?
I think it's a liner.
That'd be that sturgeon.
Yeah. Well, I put a bit of pellet out, trying to.
We've just heard one here as well, literally right in front of where Matt's bivvy is. So I do think they're moving up.
It's encouraging, eh?
But they are localised, aren't they? Obviously, you know, it's gone a bit cooler. The skies have cleared.
Yeah, temperature's dropped, hasn't it?
Temperature has dropped, yeah. But because of the depth, we're told that they do carry on feeding well into December. So
apparently it's night-time bites as well, so it's good you're off the mark so soon. But I think tonight, you know, because
yeah, but I'm old. I don't want to catch them in the night because I need my sleep. You're young and keen and fit, so I hope you catch 10 and then you have no sleep. So it's looking promising.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm still not going to put any bait out, much to your disappointment. Get a spot out of the marker. But no, it is looking very promising, so we'll see what the next few hours bring.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too long.
No, I don't. Certainly for me, not for you.
No.
I'm only joking.
Happy days.
This doesn't look good. Well,
Wow.
good for Jake. What you got, mate?
Looks a mid-20 mirror.
Bigger than 26?
I'm hoping so, but I don't think so.
Mate, that's a right result.
Yeah, it's cool.
Left hand rod?
Left hand rod, yeah. On the bottom bait source.
That one you're getting liners on?
Yeah. Nice mid-20 mirror. On the source bottom bait. Got cold last night, didn't it?
Yeah. I've retired to my bag quite early. But yeah, that's even the scores up.
Yeah, it's good.
I've rehearsed all my abuse for you, and then you've.
Yeah, I was. I'm not going to lie. I was quite happy to get one.
Mate, as a result, 2 20-pounders as well is.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
For this time of year, it's a proper.
Especially this temperature's plummeted.
Yeah, it's the wind that's chilled everything down, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
They were really active last night, weren't they?
Yeah, I started getting a few liners on the left-hand rod, which is over the about half a kilo of sauce.
You put pellet out as well, didn't you?
I did, yeah. Well, it's so deep in that. I put a bit of pellet, try and sort of, pull them down.
Pull them down, yeah.
Not a lot. I didn't want to get preoccupied with it.
Yeah,
but got a few liners, and yeah, I was your rod. I don't want that to go. That'll be 2-1 then.
Yeah. Right, let's get it back, mate. We'll see. Right. We'll see if we can move around and probably catch another one, possibly. Awesome, mate. That's a lovely clean fish, that. Right, making a brew because it's a bit warmer in my swim. So because Jake's a bit tender because he's young, we're all hiding under my brolly, and straight out the blue, I get an absolute flyer. No liners, we haven't seen nothing show, nothing. So Jake's trying to look a bit more enthusiastic, but this is like a dagger in his heart. You see, he's pulled back to one each. And the old dog Tong is just gone 2-1 up. Go Tong! Go Tong!
Oh, you want to see the clay on it?
Clay?
Yeah. All its head and shoulders and all that.
That'll do for me. So there we go, £29.5, much to the amusement of Jake. Tong takes a 2-1 advantage. But it came totally out of the blue, that did. It was the rod that I was getting liners on, and weirdly Jake was having loads of liners on his left rod, and then he got a bite on that. So whether they've cleared us out, but yeah, £29.5 in the middle of November is not to be sniffed at. And you know, I think it just goes to show that whilst it looked dead, it just ripped off straight out of the blue. So a proper result, this one. Right, this is the rig that I've had both the fish on. Nothing fancy. All I'm doing is I'm feeding tiger nut because I'm just so confident in the monster tiger nut, and these are just the source pop-ups, just a white pop. I just love white pop-ups over anything. And it's just a choddy on lead core, just a little chod buffer just to comfort the fight when you're playing the fish. About 6 foot of lead core, probably about 5 foot between the beads. Just so the chod sort of sits where it wants. There's a bit of debris on the bottom here. It's a bit weedier here than where it was up the top end. I've moved down when I had that 26. I moved down to get a better line angle on them, and there's a bit more weed. So the chod, it just suits it perfectly. You know, moving on, plop plop, couple of little casts, small little stubby 1.5 ounce lead. It's quite deep, you know. I reckon I'm fishing 18, 20 foot of water now, but the fish live in it. They don't seem to mind picking the rig up there. But very bizarre, like I say, I moved on and I heard loads of fish in the evening and in the night, and got the liners on the right hand rod, and then out the blue it just flies off and it catches a 29 pounder. You know, it's bizarre. They've definitely eaten the bait. So we've just had an occurrence on this on the left rod. Don't know if it's the fish when we put the fish back was swimming through the line, but we're not sure. It sort of tightened up and the rod tip bent, and I thought it was going to go. So I've either been spat out. That hook is still razor sharp, that razor point is, so I don't think it was a pickup, or I tell myself it wasn't, just on the fact that I've probably just been done. So yeah, nothing complicated. I just love this rig. I can move onto fish. This is where it really comes into its own, where you can move, plop plop, and you know it's not tangled. It's fishing, it doesn't matter what it's technically landed on, you know, the weight of the lead core and the little lead, it just pulls the hook home. So it's just a rig I love, you know, and I don't think I'll ever stop using this rig. I think it works so much for me. People say, oh, it's not proper fishing because you've not meticulously found a spot. Well, if you're moving on to fish like I did last night, you ain't going to start throwing a marker rod out, because all you're going to do is you're going to ruin your chances of catching anything before you've even cast a rig out. You know, you defeated the object of actually moving onto them. So in this instance, plop plop, couple of chods, and you're fishing, and there you go, 29 pounder. So it does work. So I'm just going to change the bait. I'm going to put this out, and then hopefully we'll get another one before we wrap it up and go home. So we'll just get that bait on now. We're just going to run you through my small water setup. Now this is a typical, it's an irrigation, it's about 6 acres, and it's only, what, 80 yards wide, 90 yards wide. Now, normally I probably would have turned up with me 3 1/4, just because I love them, I know what they can do, and me Ulchega CI4s. So what I've got now, I've got a separate setup of the 12-foot 2 3/4 XS1s, and I've teamed them up with the 10,000 X Aero bait runners. And I've got 12 pound Invisitech line, which for a mono sinks really well for a mono. I love using fluoro, but obviously if I'm going to use a mono, I want something that sinks a lot better than some of the other monos on the market. So the Invisitech does that perfectly. And I've got the single handle 10,000. Absolutely joy to play fish on. It's almost, I don't want the fight to end, you know, that 29 pounder, it came in quite easy. And because the rod is sort of bent really well over, and you feel like you're having so much fun, if that's the phrase I want to use, with the bait runner and the lower test curve rod compared to a big pit and a 3 1/4 or a 3 1/2. And it's an absolute joy to play fish on. And you do forget the art of small water fishing, I think, because you get a bit overgunned. But yeah, the rods are very, very lovely, like a carbon reel seat, full Japanese shrink, got a little butt stop behind that goes behind your backrest just to stop the rod going in. Really minimalistic finish, 50 to 60 mil guides. So again, you know, if you do want to punch it 70, 80 yards of fluorocarbon, the line's going to flow through them rings really well. And they look like $1 million, you know, they're not mega expensive rods, but they look really, really nice. And it's just a joy to play fish on. It's actually a joy to use them. And I want to use this setup a lot more, if I'm honest. I'm really getting into using these old-fashioned bait runners with a single handle, really well balanced. You just get a lot more feel on the cast. Very, very accurate. You know, you could just like plop them on really on a dustbin lid, wherever you want to put it. You know, you've really got a bend. And even with an 1.5 ounce lead, it really does compress a 2 3/4 rods. So if you're going to have another setup, don't get something that's too similar to what you've already got. So don't have a set of 3 1/2s or 3 3/4 and then 3 1/4. Get something that's a lot different, that you're actually going to feel the difference when you're using that setup. So for me, XS1 2 3/4, 10,000 X Aero bait runners is absolutely the perfect setup for waters of this size, and it's an absolute joy to play and land a fish on that setup.
Okay, well, Ian's had 2 now, I've had 1, both using the Source. Ian's been fishing the new Source white fluoros on a choddy over Monster Tiger Nut. I think he's using it for the visual factor. However, I've been fishing the Source, liner. I've been fishing one on the bottom bait and one on a pop-up. Fish I caught last night was on the bottom bait rod. I fished it over half a kilo boilie. I also put out some marine halibut, just to try and draw the fish down. It's very deep here, and I think the oil's in the water, I might put them down. Well, it worked this morning anyway. So yeah, but yeah, the Source, soon it's been released in these 1 kilo resealable bags, which is good. So you haven't got to, you know, you can reseal it and it's going to stay fresh. Also comes in 5 kilo bags, which I think you can get at a slightly better price if you want to put a fair bit of bait in. It's certainly a good bait, nice rich colour. It's certainly done the test of time. It's been a winner for years. To be honest, I normally use the Monster Tiger Nut, but I just thought I'd give something different a go. So I thought I'd give the Source a go, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's a blinding bait. I mean, you crack one open and give it a smell, it just smells so carpy and so rich in goodness. And obviously it's a good bait, like, it's good enough for Terrier and it's good enough for me. But yeah, last night I fished just a simple bottom bait rig, nice long shank hook, and it did the trick. It's warmed up a little bit now, so it's looking good for a bite. There's still time yet, but either way, 3 fish between us, it's been a good result.
There we go, pack up time. I still haven't got a clue where we are. Somewhere in the middle of Cambridgeshire, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just follow the sat nav on the way. But what a session. We've had 3 really lovely fish, 23, 26 and a 29. We've used different tactics, haven't we? Different rigs, you know, and it's a bit cold now. The wind is obviously relentless, but we think we've just seen one show, but because of the depth we don't really know where that was in comparison to the where the fish was sitting. But no, it's been great, hasn't it?
To be honest, I think that temperature dropped so much, I think we've done well to get 3 fish.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And for that size in the middle of November is a good hit, isn't it?
It's good.
I'd really come back. We're told it does fish through into the winter, but depending on if, oh, that would be good, wouldn't it? Equal the scores up for 2-2 just as I'm going. But because of the depth, I think when the weather's up and down, the fish tend to go up and down with the weather. So I think you could bait this and have quite a few in the winter. So I think I'd definitely like to come back, because to catch 3 fish that size in these conditions, it's great, isn't it? You know, there's a few 30s in, so I'm just waiting for the text when I'm driving home that he's had a 30 pounder, and then he'll think he's had the yeah, it will, mate. But no, I've really enjoyed it. No, we don't want that, do we? We don't want that going off, because obviously once I've gone, the match is over. Not as it was a match. No, I've just turned it into a match. But mate, appreciate it. No, really good 24 hours, and 2-1 to the old pro. See you soon.
Many thanks for tuning into this episode of Tackle Fanatics TV. Tackle Fanatics stock a huge range of bait and end tackle from all the leading manufacturers. We're also a premium Shimano stockist and offer a massive range of products at the best prices around. Tackle Fanatics also offer finance to make your tackle purchase more affordable. To view our fantastic selection of products, log on to www.tacklefanatics.co.uk. Tight lines from everybody at TFTV.